Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back here to Extreme Economy as we are progressing. So haven't given an update in a bit. You can see we're maybe 30% of the way through level 0 here with the mod. We are almost to level 7 if we were playing base game. So we're like 3/4 of the way through level 6. If we end up getting a really long haul again here, probably would have gotten another skill point in another life, but obviously that's not how this mod works. So we're sitting here day 4. So, we're on Friday. Somehow, I think I mentioned last time, oh, I must be a full week in. Nope, not yet. So Monday, I think, is when we start. So we're at 9:15 a.m. Only changes so far, someone had suggested, because there's a lot of night driving, to take a look at the headlight mods. So we're obviously not going to see that, but right now I do have a headlight mod added in. It's the highest rated one I could find. I think it's realistic headlights. My hesitation in the past has always been, I don't know that it really makes it much brighter, but I think people feel it still might be worthwhile. So I'm willing to try it and see if I like it or if it drives me crazy. But that will not come for a little bit. I was going to say for a few loads, but that's not really true. All right, so the good news is we have 4 squares or 4 rectangles of jobs. Hopefully, I can find something in that 250. I don't think I'm going to find anything below 300. So not many below 400 miles, but there are some. And there's a nice short one here that actually is the 3rd highest paying job. So we've always talked about, trying to do that. So the ones above it, 498, 519. So this would take me, again, back to New Mexico, which I'd rather not do. So yeah, we're going to take these moving containers from Walmart to Amazon, from San Antonio to Roma. So yay, we got a job within the limit, which would be the 250. And there's actually a job on the next page that actually just goes to Laredo, which is 198. So there is some hope, but it took all these jobs to get some to show up. So we'll work within it, and as I said, my hope is maybe once we get to level 1, so if I'm forced to take longer jobs in level 0 here, but maybe once we get to level 1, I probably at that point will go ahead, because it might be better to not add points, and then I could stay kind of in that 400-mile range, although in theory I shouldn't be doing that until I go up a level point. I don't know. I'll talk my way through that when we get closer. We're a long way away from that. Let's take this job and get moving. So you can see here, though, we do need to get there by 11:03 p.m., 5:03 a.m. In theory, we could, like, this is long enough where I could, I think, go ahead and sleep, but not sure. All right, so the good news is daylight. We can just go out, look at the truck. We don't have to do too much, because we're not going to be traveling with our lights right now. Everything looks good. Sleeper cab Kenworth. Got a drop deck with, now I know what moving containers are. I didn't realize it was these pods things, but okay. We're going from Walmart to Amazon, as we talked about. Good news is things loaded. I get our tracking running, our head tracking, just to make sure. It looks like I've got to leave over there. Whoops. Gear is always important. Put it in gear. Mature Simmer. Right, 4,000. So it's almost like, No, I guess it's just a security area by the Walmart. Alright, delivery. Alright, so we've gotten here. Again, 204 miles. So exactly what we would want. I love it. I'm happy that we did get some. I was starting to wonder if we're gonna get any, but we did. So that is terrific. We'll get ourselves in here. Hopefully we can get across the train tracks before we have any kind of immediate issue. Because once again, if we can get somewhere kind of quickly...
And then turn right.
If we can get somewhere quickly... I don't know why when I turn my head in this game, I drift.
Turn right.
And maybe it's because, like, I wouldn't be turning my head that much normally. Yeah, the good news is here. Now I assume we're gonna get on to I-35.
Exit left.
Alright, so we've got some Napa Auto Parts. Alright, and we need to probably get up to 65, so we'll do that. It says 60. That might be what it is if it doesn't change. Now it says 70. So unless the truck speed doesn't change, no it does. And again, we've got a nice sunny morning after the storms we had overnight as we were driving. So weather has gotten a little better. I did check the recommended settings, and they go through November for the rain probabilities and stuff that we have now. Alright, we do not have to stop. That happens with a lot of the quick jobs. It does seem to not require you to go to the way stations, which I'm not going to complain about, because obviously when the wheels are spinning, we're making money. When they're not, we're not. So, alright, so that is like a big covered area, and that's cool. But yeah, nice news is we're up to speed. Moving along here. I'm surprised we're going all the way down I-35 this way, but suppose that just lets us get this load done quicker. And, you know, every once in a while, at this point, if we don't have longer loads, because that was a question one commenter answered to. They don't mind longer videos. They don't mind nighttime driving. They enjoy watching any of it. Now, that was the same individual that suggested, hey, have you looked at a headlights mod? And part of the reason I didn't, as I told them, is I was under the impression that most headlight mods made it harder to see because they felt the base game headlights were not realistic and they were giving too much light. But we'll see. I mean, if it works, it works, and then, hey, we know we have headlights. Alright, coming up on 50 miles on this haul already. So sometimes these feel like they're so fast, but it's okay. Because that's the other piece, like getting ahead a little bit. I am going to be out of town. We're, you know, traveling like many people in the U.S. are. We're traveling for Thanksgiving. So I would like to get ahead and have videos in the hopper, and I've done that. I have done that, not intentionally. It was somewhat intentionally, because when I was going through it on the golf side, I knew. But yes, I'm fine on my morning golf sessions, but now that I have daily trucking sessions, or at least trying to do that, because there's just so much trucking to do, you know, we're not ahead on those. I'm literally filming this one, or recording this one, I suppose, is really the more appropriate way to explain this. The morning of the day you're going to see this, assuming everything works and I have time to edit and I can get it out. But trying to do that late afternoon thing, I mean, you'll see it. It just might be later in the evening or something. but I've been chasing it for like a week. Some of that is I've been spending a lot of time in the golf game, just trying to get settled in with my new capabilities and understanding. And so I've played a lot of rounds of golf compared to what I would do in a given week. That has come at the neglect of other things. Now I don't have a NASCAR flight that I need to do this week. I'm a little bit happy with that, but I was still hoping to do something in the Saturday slot that still ends up being a flight sim thing. And I had talked about doing the VFR Around the World Tour series and turning that into what sits in that slot. So that still means I need to fly that on a weekly basis, along with anything else I want to do, and I haven't done that, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have problems with Tour Tuner, you know, and all of that stuff. Well, there's one of those Jeeps. Alright. So we've got a good amount of traffic. Again, we have realistic traffic mod, which I always enjoy because I think it just makes the roads look more alive and normal and what we'd expect. My concern, of course, here taking this load, I mean, I didn't voice that, but you can probably guess what I'm going to say, is that we're going to this little town of Roma, which is part of the more American cities, Texas, I'm pretty sure. And that is what usually gets me in the bind of, hey, there's one load, two loads out of town here, and they're all exceeding the distance that I'm trying to enforce, to self-enforce here. So, we'll see. But, alright, that's Laredo, which would have been, in theory, like 190, so that's interesting that you can get it this far. So again, I talk about this when I'm in Texas. I probably will stop if I stay in Texas a really long time. But yeah, they call these interchanges mix masters a lot of time in Texas, so just be aware if you're driving down there and you ask for directions and someone tells you to go to the mix master, that's what they're talking about. Alright, I saw the tide. Oh, now we're down to 45. Alright, so now we're going off the interstate. We still have just under 70 miles to go. Oh, looks like maybe we'll be near a viewpoint. So yeah, not sure if that's what I'm driving. The W900 Legacy Edition. It has that feel, but I am not very good at identifying the trucks by the model. Oop, I'm rolling back down the hill. So I'm assuming I'm gonna need to go to the left at some point, so I'm going to, come on. Alright, they're turning. Oof. I was like, am I gonna hit him? Got really close, that's for sure. International Bridge number 1, number 2.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Right, I don't think here. Yeah, I can't turn here. But I can turn here.
Left.
And that is obviously where I want to turn. So, Carrizo Springs. We got just the bus. Am I moving? Is he moving? He must have been moving. I mean, I pressed the brake a little harder, just in case, but wasn't sure. Alright, so go here. Hopefully we can make it through the light. Okay. Alright, there's the viewpoint. So we'll go ahead and take a peek. I don't know if I've been at this one or not. But we haven't had any for a bit, and it's giving us 8 of 25, so I'm guessing we haven't for the achievement. But daylight would be an awesome time to look at these, so it'd be pretty goofy to pay those large pipes like I was hauling, and lumber. It's like all my old loads are coming to visit me. Just did those, but with the amount of loads we've got to do in this series, we're going to probably haul pretty much everything for too long, which is fine. I like the variation, but again, the GDC Realistic Extreme Edition Economy mod, any of their economy mods, you know, kind of use the same economy model for that, so commodities and this and that, but there's seasonality to our loads, so, you know, we're going to be getting things that are typically moved around in the fall. I kind of had to draw in that construction site, but that's that Mixmaster we just went by, I believe. Interesting roof shingles. You got like the Lone Star on there, and yeah, now we're getting aerial view of what that looks like. And again, you can see there's a lot of surface roads down there. You know, they put a lot of design pride into things here. So I get why they give them a special name, I guess, because they're not just simple interchanges. They're pretty crazily engineered things there. Alright, so get in the right lane here. And we've only gone a mile since we were talking about just slightly under 70 miles. We've gone from 68 miles to 67, because again, we're in town right now, but once we get out of town, things will pick up again, I'm sure. Got a FedEx poster up there. That does remind me, really sad news. I assume you've heard, but yeah, a UPS plane went down in Louisville, which is a big UPS hub. You know, I'd probably have seen it anyway, but definitely with the involvement in flight sim and so forth, any kind of aviation accident like that really hits a little closer to home, because, you know, I certainly understand some of the risks that everybody's facing when they're doing things, but yeah, all the pilots on board passed away, and I think there were also casualties on the ground, because it did go, they were trying to take off, and it kind of ripped through the warehouses and so forth, and so I think people on the ground lost their lives as well, and I've heard reports that it might be as much as a mile of just flame and destruction that created because of the speed it was going. So, because it was between 140 and 180 knots as it was taking off, and we'll see, but it had an engine on fire before it took off, which one of the guys I watched is a gentleman named Captain Steve. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's a pilot, commercial pilot. I forget who he flies for, but one of the major carriers, and so he covers things when there are crashes, and he had some pretty upsetting videos that you just see. You know, as you know, people are not making it out there and whatever, but it looks like the plane rolled, because it also looks like perhaps the engine separated from the left wing. I knew it. I knew he was going to do that. I hate the AI.
Go straight.
Have I said that enough yet? It's like I was talking, and then I saw me passing him, and I'm like, well, maybe if I'm that far, he'll stop. Nope. Now, again, I didn't see any money taken away, so maybe because I tried to evade it, I don't know. I don't remember if I was at 4,092 or not. Again, it's the trailer. There may be, it does not showing any damage. It shows 0%, so maybe since I was pulling away, it was like a glancing blow or something. I don't know. I just wish they'd make the AI... I enjoy the traffic and all, but I don't enjoy the fact that they just don't do things that make sense. Like, you have a truck right next to you. That car would not just drive into me. I mean, even if it couldn't slow down, it would have just kept going straight into the merge zone there and driven kind of off the road, but it would not have turned into me. Because it's not good for it either. So, yeah, the whole thing is goofy. But anyway, let's slow down to 60, because that's what we've got here. There's Roma. And it looks like we're going to be on the left, so before we get in town and get a lot of stuff. Yeah, we're also down to 30. I don't want to get another ticket. Someone did look at the video. They said the police officer was right behind me, so I was blind when I looked that one time and was like, where? Is he hiding behind a sign? Like, where did he flag me down? Similar, we looked at a flatbed the other day and we saw that marking of put coil here, and you can see the coils are lined up with that, which would make sense, hence why they... Oh, I guess we're on the right. So, I didn't realize we were turning through Roma. We haven't yet discovered Roma. It's still sitting there in gray. So, we'll see where we finally get flagged for that. I'm assuming once we get into the intersection or something, but... maybe not. So, the bus isn't gonna let us go. Come on. Alright, they're gonna let us go. Which is nice. Okay, well. Maybe we won't discover Roma. This is really weird. But maybe it's just, maybe they just have it at the drop-off point. Because basically if you don't drop off, and that would be a way to do the smaller towns like this. If you basically were like, yeah, you're not getting a discovery unless you're delivering to the town.
Right.
There we go, alright. So I didn't have to deliver, but I had to get near Amazon. I am thinking... this is where we're going. Did light it up. We're going behind the building. It looks like is where they want us. Not exactly the best way to go have two of us go in and out.
Finding a new route.
Finding a new route. I'm going right where you told me to go.
You have arrived at your destination.
Right. Is it there? Yep. That is not an easy spot to get to. So, we'll see. I may not do this in cab. So this is going to be tricky, to say the least. So, oops. So I kind of need to head back there, but alright, so let's take a quick peek, deploy our drone. Alright, I really should start turning, I think. So we're gonna do that. Alright, let's take a peek again. Am I at least on? Oof. Not really. Alright, so I am gonna actually fix my problem. I'm gonna go forward a bit. And yeah, I do need to just cut much more sharply right away. So let's do that. I was just... the problem is the way that is, I'm like, it's just not gonna go, but yeah, if I don't cut it more than that, like, we're gonna have trouble. Yeah, see, I think we're already hitting the building. We are. Wow. Okay. Well, this is how we learn, right? Just like my learning in the golf thing. You know, I can figure it out eventually of how sharply we have to do things. Alright, so what about now? Looks better, but wow, I have still got to cut. That is crazy. Alright, so now I'm thinking would be a good time. Let's peek again. Alright, so now, yeah, we'll go up, kind of straighten it up a little bit here. Okay, up on the curb. See if we can make this work a little bit. Hopefully I'm not... really? Alright, well... half the video is going to be spent trying to park this thing. Alright. Am I good now? I just don't know that I can turn appropriately. Let's see, we'll go up a bit and then try this. Now we'll head back. I'm dragging the fence, so if you're hearing anything, that's what's happening. I don't like the way the trailer bounced. No, I think maybe I'm okay. So I'm at least over the curb. So I'm gonna keep trying here. Alright. So let's see. We'll go up the ramp a bit. I'm probably not gonna get able to park here, but at least I'll be able to reposition. Oh, it's gonna give it to me. Interesting. Let's just take a look. Yeah, we're not terrible, but... alright, we're there. Alright, let's head back here. Get our landing gear down. Drop this load. Yeah, I should have been a little cleaner, but hey. But that was a tougher one. So again, more of a typical add-on here. Just getting 420 XP. So did not make the request, as always. If you have not liked or subscribed yet, please consider those things. Greatly appreciated. And I will see you next time.